Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 60th Georgia Football Podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom, baby.
And this is show number 47, the Midnight Miracle episode,
Woo!
Adam. We are going back to the national championship.
Unbelievable, Clark. Unbelievable, man. I still cannot believe what I just watched last night. I woke up this morning and thought, was this real? Did this really happen? Did last night really happen? Did Georgia really win that football game, Clark? I mean, I was out. I just thought we were done. There was no way Georgia was going to pull that off. We're out of it and gone. Miracle, as Munson said, man. Just another game that will live in Georgia lore with that 1980 Florida game, Clark, with that Rose Bowl in 18 out in Pasadena on New Year's Day. This game will be a staple of an instant classic, man.
Yep.
One that really our hearts were pulled just out of our chests there for a while, Clark. It was done. It was done. And then we came back and we stormed and pulled Ohio State's hearts right out of their chest, man. And unbelievable game, unbelievable job of just coming back from 2 touchdowns, 2 different times in the game, man. Seeing this team play from behind and how they would answer getting hit in the mouth and getting behind time and time again, man. And just no give up, no quit, man. And that's something that is established in this group, in this program from a long time ago, man, when Kirby Smart came here in 2016 and it's just built to this, that these type of teams win these football games, Clark. And Georgia is to the point of the program that they're at right now, Clark, that hey, you might not play your best game, and you might be playing an elite team that's playing their A-plus game, Clark, but still championship teams and championship programs like the University of Georgia find a way to win football games, Clark. And that's what happened Saturday night in Atlanta, Georgia.
Agreed.
Woo!
Yeah, I think old Lady Luck had something to do with that win. She saved us last night, Adam.
I'm telling you, Clark.
Hey, survive and advance. People, we are 14-0 in the first time program history. That is amazing.
Unbelievable.
A little bone there, not
unbelievable,
not necessarily a fun fact, but it is a little bone.
Little bone before we get to the fun facts.
Yeah, the Dogs are now Peach Bowl champions after a thrilling 42-41 victory over the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yes, sir.
Kirby is taking us to our 3rd national championship appearance in 6 years. That's crazy.
That's crazy to think, Clark, man. And you thought that the football we've watched from the University of Georgia for years until 2017, that year that we saw them get to the national championship, man, and just came short then. And just a few years later, you get back at it. And then here we are again after getting over the hump of actually winning it, man. 3 out of 6, that is unbelievable because it is hard in college football to get to national championships, man. It is very hard. A lot of stuff has to go the right way, and you got to have the right players, man, especially the culture of football right now and where we're at with the game, man. And it's unbelievable to say 3 in 6 years is an incredible feat.
Yeah, and it's tougher now because you're playing an extra game, whereas the Alabama, now don't get me wrong, that was a great Alabama, those were great Alabama teams in what, 9 and 10?
Yes.
That repeated?
Yes.
But now it's even tougher because you got, or 11 and 12, yes. But now it's tougher because you do play an extra game, and it's not just any other game. It is, you're playing a top-tier team like Ohio State. So very impressed with what we're doing at the University of Georgia. Nobody believes us outside of the state of Georgia, but we are building a dynasty.
Oh, absolutely, dynasty. I think back on it, man. It's really humbling and just surreal to think what we've seen. We're relatively young compared to some people who've watched Georgia football. We didn't live through the 90s and have a remembrance of it, But our earliest moments were heartbreaks in Jacksonville, man, with thinking that David Green and some of his teams could get us over that hump with Mark Richt and just fell short in sometimes, man. And then you thought you had to go through and see in our teenage years almost Tim Tebow just win 2 national championships down in Gainesville. The Alabama dynasty gets to rolling, man. And then you see their neighbors down south to us, another Florida team, Florida State win 1 and 13. And then Auburn, the biggest one, to 10 comes out of nowhere. So you see now you have Florida, Auburn, Alabama.
Hey, Clemson.
And then you get to that, Clark. Then you get to Clemson come and then establish that they're in there, and it's Alabama, Clemson. So what I'm saying is when Kirby took over this program at 16, he had 2 empires that were built on either side of the state of Georgia, right there in Dabo and Nick Saban Saban were doing, and they were the two respectively best head coaches in college football at that time when Kirby took over. And in the short amount of time, what he has done to take away from those two programs to get recruits, man, and to build what Georgia has become and keep climbing up that ladder, man, it's truly unbelievable, man. It is unbelievable to do what he has done in modern day college football right now, man. And it's time to finish. It's time to get it done. Get one more, repeat, be the first team to repeat in the college football playoff era. Like you said, Clark, because it's even more difficult because you got to play that elite team, that extra elite team, before you can be crowned champions to get to that national championship game. And it is truly unbelievable, man. You got to pinch yourself. You got to pinch yourself that we're at this opportunity again. So that is why I say everybody enjoy it. Everybody just savor the moment, man, because college football will be a shell of what we love right now. I hate to bring down the mood and somber here, Clark, but in the next few years, it might not be what we have grown up loving. So that's why we're fortunate to be in this position and why we're going to enjoy every single time that we get to watch this team play, man, and hopefully another championship. And what an opportunity to see that game last night, man.
Well, it was a great day for semifinal games. It's probably, it is, let's just go ahead and say it was the best day for college football playoff history.
It was.
Two really, really good games, and we're obviously going to talk about ours on this episode. We want to say Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year, yeah. 2023 is going to be a great year for all of us. I just have a feeling.
It started off dang.
It did. It really did. And, Adam, as we were sitting in there in that stadium, and, I think we had all lost hope.
Yeah.
Sitting in there in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I tell you, I told my wife, Caitlin, I said, if we're going to lose this game, I want it to stay in 2022. I do not want it to carry over into 2023.
Just leave it behind.
But it didn't happen that way.
It didn't happen that way.
And we're going to talk about how it did happen on this episode.
It's a storybook.
It is. It is
a
magic.
Story, just a magical, man.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, Clark, what was a bigger moment to you? That Rose Bowl comeback or the comeback last night, Clark? Is it like trying to, choose your favorite children?
Yeah.
Or something, your favorite child, have to pick from the memory bank?
Right. I think the Rose Bowl was more magical. You didn't really feel like you were going to win that game. You had some confidence. Last night was different. It was like, oh my gosh, we should win this game. Even knowing that Ohio State is a very, very good football team. I think last night was more thrilling. The Rose Bowl was more magical.
I agree with that. I think the setting in Pasadena too, it being the first playoff game, that we saw in Georgia football history and how that happened, but very similar, Clark, very similar offensive gurus as head coaches and Heisman finalists, or Heisman winner in Baker Mayfield. And a Heisman finalist 2 times in C.J. Stroud. So seeing that and kind of just seeing that the defense both times what these Kirby Smart defenses do, they step up when the time is needed to do it, man. And they did it again in another big postseason game, man. And we got a lot to talk about how the game went. A lot of stuff that we said was completely wrong, Clark. I feel like an idiot for some of the stuff that I said on the call-in show, the podcast last week, man. But
well, yeah, let's jump into it. We got an announcement to make. We're going to talk about the atmosphere of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Absolutely. We got some concession stands.
Yes, we got a concession stands report this week.
It returns, baby. The return.
Yep. Some fun facts. We're going to kind of give you more of a knee-jerk reaction to that game last night.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about Georgia's offense, the defense, and special teams performances. We got Georgia versus TCU.
The big one.
History, a preview coming up, the big one. Yes, indeed. And then last but not least, a score prediction. So let's jump into it, Adam. First off is our announcement. We are not going to do a formal live call-in show like we have done in the past. Unfortunately, we're flying with Southwest Airlines out to L.A.
Which pray for us for that. Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed for it because we might not make it.
We really may not with all this.
We're gambling a little bit, just roll the dice on this one. We're going to see what happens.
Exactly.
Just really going to just put it out there and we're going to see. And we might have to hitchhike to L.A. You talk about a story. If we just use the old thumb and went,
we can do it. We'll do it.
Dude. I mean, I'm fine with it. If you want to do it, or we will rent a van from Hertz and we will drive cross country.
So are we really going to do that?
If needed.
If needed. Well, if we're not going to be there, then who will?
Exactly. But I mean, if the flights are going to let us down, man, we're going to have to get there somewhere by train, by boat, by something.
So all that to say, I'm not really comfortable.
I have to go around South America to get over there by boat or to cut through the old Panama Canal to get over there. That'd be the only way by water.
I think you're right. Yeah, you are right.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Anywho.
Yeah, all that to say, I'm not willing to fly, all my equipment out there and do like a live call-in show normally. So we'll figure it out. We may go on Facebook Live and take some comments instead of having people call in.
We'll see.
We're going to have to
make an audible.
Yeah,
but something will happen and we'll all be fired up for another national championship game. Baby.
Exactly. Can't wait. The atmosphere. Let's get into this.
Boom.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I've heard a lot about Ohio State's band.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Ohio State
I tell you what,
marching band?
man, I really I liked, what's the word I'm looking for? I think they were very, very complimentary of each other. All of their, in the sense of they were all on the same beat and the same routine, and just when they did not only did they spell out the word Ohio, they did it in cursive script.
That is pretty good.
Everybody was, in the same sync. They were synchronized. That's kind of what I'm looking for. They were very synchronized. They spelled Ohio on each side of the field. I don't know if they do that regular, if it's just big Ohio at their stadium. But they did it on two sides, and they had two bandmates, do the old dotted I where they did the old high step, man. And I tell you what, the flexibility of the drum major, Clark. That's the big feather on his hat.
Yeah.
To get down, man. I looked at that and I was like, I would break something trying to do that. Or I'd definitely fall backwards.
Yeah.
Definitely fall back. But he was able to, he does one of them numbers, man, where he leans back and touches the feather of the cap on the field. And then everybody just goes crazy.
We need to see
pandemonium ensues.
We need to see you demonstrate that.
But it's not like a hand, like a bridge, like one of them old moves, the bridge, what you call it, when you throw your hands back and, poke your stomach out like that. No, he just went straight down, not touching his arms on the ground, and he hit that feather on the field, man. And the stadium erupted, and then they marched on the field. So I think it was very impressive. A very unique band uniforms, not your traditional marching band attire. I felt like, and you know what, Clark, I think they were worth the hype.
Yeah,
I really do.
They're pretty good.
What was your analysis?
They were good. I don't know. They were good. I think I've seen better.
Have you?
I'd say they're top 3 college football bands I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm biased. I think the Redcoats are the best, but I'm incredibly biased.
The strongest opposing band that I've ever seen is Texas.
Really?
Oh man,
they did
when they hammered down Texas. When they hammered down Texas fight in that Louisiana Superdome, that was wild. But anyway, that's but I was impressed with them, man. That was they were good. They were good. They really did good. And,
all right. Follow-up question. What did you think of Brutus? Is that his name?
Brutus the Buckeye. Yeah. I'm very impressed. Excuse me. Wrong word usage. I was not impressed with how cheap his outfit was. I don't know now, Clark, if it was just traditional. They've kept it like it was from back in the day.
Right.
But I felt like they could have put more money in his attire.
Okay.
Looked like his head did not look like it was up to the level of college mascots in 2022.
Okay. Oh, man.
I do not think it just seemed like it was very cheap, Clark. It was very cheap. And to be the icon that he is on all the Nissan Heisman House commercials and everything that he makes, I think they could have made him a better attire. I felt like he needed to pull his pants down. That he was swimming, man, because his socks were showing a little bit too much, a little high water action, too much high water action, man. We need to get them pants down for old Brutus and maybe loosen them up a little bit. But yeah, in all seriousness, a very classic traditional mascot, man. Everything about that program, Blue Blood, biggest stage of them all, college football playoffs, and Georgia pops another one, man. Georgia pops another one.
We did. Hey, I got to give credit to their fan base too, right quick, before we move into the football talk. They traveled well.
They did.
I think we started to see that it was more about 60-40 Georgia to Ohio State fans.
Oh, every bit of it.
Because
even more.
When we lit up the fourth quarter, although we didn't really feel like it, we held our cell phones up in the air.
We're ready to go.
There were a lot of Georgia fans all around the stadium.
That's right. That's right.
But hats off to the Ohio State people. They traveled very, very well. A few more things. Finally got to meet Will Snipes. Shout out to him. He's a friend of the show, and been wanting to meet him for a while.
That was big. That was nice. That was nice out there at the dog walk.
Yeah, the dog walk. That was a good dog walk, too.
It was a real good dog walk right at dusk, man.
Yes.
You really feel like when the team is going into a stadium at dusk, Clark, when the sun is setting beyond the horizon, baby, that's when you know that big-time college football is about to be played. When you're going to walk into a stadium at dusk.
Yeah. Adam, you shed a tear, did you not?
I got
the dog walk?
Did you get that juice? I was like, this is it again, man. Because I think, Clark, I live my life, man, because I've gotten very nostalgic in my older age at 29. I like to really just sit there and really appreciate every life opportunity of stuff that I love to do, whether that be with family, friends, and loved ones. Whatever I do, I have just here reason that I even more just really grasp the moment and will never look back and say I should have enjoyed that more. So that is what I've been working on. I sat there that moment. I thought, thank God that I get to see my favorite football team play in another big semifinal football game. And it just hit me. It just hit me. I said, what an opportunity. How blessed we are to see it again. I'm going to enjoy every bit of it, win or lose, man. So that's how that came about for sure.
And we've said this time and time and again, but it is sweeter when you go to those Liberty Bowls, the Belk Bowls, the Capital
Man,
One
it's absolutely, man. And to see where they're at now, and you're going to enjoy every second of it and be thankful for that. And it's just one of them things in life, that football and the celebration, and you see these celebratory videos, man, from everybody who you know watched it from home at a sports bar or wherever they were at, New Year's Eve party or in the stadium, the jubilation of it, man. And for this football game, what it is about 60 minutes right there, Clark, and even longer than that with TV commercial, but 60 minutes of game time that you could just get lost in it, man. That you can think about nothing else outside of life, but what's going on between them white lines, man, and just get lost of it and just forget about the worries of the world, and then just have pure joy from what your team does, man. Or in some and sad in times when they get big, you know, just the emotions of it is it's awesome, and it's something that is a blessing that we get to share. And especially, I love more than anything is seeing these videos of friends and family celebrating a Georgia win. That's what it's all about. That's what this podcast is all about, and that's why we brought this to you, is to be that fan base, to share our passion and to hear everybody else's passion. And that's and to be able to go to another national championship again, Clark, the second year we've done this, man. Would you ever thought that?
No.
Would you ever thought that, man?
I don't.
You think back to the preview show in July. We predicted Georgia go to the national championship. Definitely not against TCU.
No.
But in the back of my mind, I really was thinking, you know, might be a playoff. Probably not going to be SEC champions, but I might sneak in, you know, as a 4 seed, the playoff with a one loss or something. And no, man, just completely unreal. The 14-0, going for perfection, man, which will trump the previous year's team, man. And unbelievable back to back. Great opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
All right, weekly concession stands report.
Hit that jingle, baby.
Here we go. Big game Dippin' Dots, Adam.
Big game Dippin' Dots.
Tell us about it.
Big game Dippin' Dots, Clark. You do not go eat Dippin' Dots when Georgia plays Norfolk State. When Georgia plays Ball State, or when Georgia plays, you know, Louisiana Monroe, you do not eat Dippin' Dots then. You might just go get a frozen lemonade and that when you want something, you know.
Makes sense.
It's a big game Dippin' Dots are reserved just for big football games.
Okay.
Like this upcoming game will be a big game Dippin' Dot day, or, you know, the Florida, the Tennessee game. So that is something that's become part of the Roast 60 food tradition here, Clark, is that the big game Dippin' Dot.
All right.
And let me just say again, third trip to Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year, Clark. Third trip, man. And we have bragged about the concession stands. We got one to throw out at you this time, a new one. A new one. So my wife, Kelsey, and many others got the hibachi, man. And Kelsey said, I did not get the hibachi. I got a burger, which was really good. But the hibachi, man, great portion size, Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Great portion size for one. Just spread that yellow sauce on it, man. Everybody and their brother knows what some yellow sauce is at a hibachi Japanese steakhouse deal is, you know. And they said that it was great. Some of the best. Kelsey said, my wife, that it is some of the best hibachi she's ever had.
Wow.
Ever had.
That's impressive.
And great servings, man. They must have done some research on the adequate serving per person.
Yeah,
and it was perfect. And a lot of people got that stuff, man. So, I mean, you know, you go to the bins, you get Japanese. How many times do you go watch a college football game and get some Japanese hibachi? So that's what I'm going to showcase on this one.
They really do have a lot of different options. I mean, you can get a burger, you can get wings, you can get hibachi, you can get, you know,
whatever.
Dippin' Dots. And we got big game Dippin' Dots. Adam, my one gripe is
there's something there for everybody's food palate.
Yeah, agreed. My one gripe is I paid $9 for Dippin' Dots. Now, granted, I did get the large.
Did you get the large?
But I'm going to tell you something. I said large, and I looked after I went ahead and ordered the large, and after she filled up my bowl of Dippin' Dots, I looked at the medium, and it was maybe a centimeter smaller than the large.
I mean, really, the deal was getting the small, whatever it's called. So, that you'll have that. We live and we learn. Right. We learn from our errors. So the next big game Dippin' Dots, not to get the large cup because it's a scam.
Agreed.
But you'll have that, and life's all about experiences to know what to do the next go round with that opportunity.
That's true. Good point, Adam. Good point. All right, some fun facts. The largest Clark's fun facts. Yes, I guess we're going to call it.
It is that.
Well, Adam, I'm going to give the people one of your fun facts that I'm announcing, I guess.
Okay.
You said this last night, and this was a really good point. This is now the second time that Georgia has beaten a team from Ohio in a New Year's Six game when the game came down to a field goal.
Yeah, at the last second. That's exactly right. A Peach Bowl, not even just a New Year. I mean, even if it was a Peach Bowl. So, of course, we're referring to Jack Podlesny's last-second field goal in the game against Cincinnati for the 2021 Peach Bowl for the 2020 season, man. And I just thought about that last night. That's weird. 2 years later, man, you're back in that same building against a team against Ohio. Bigger stakes this time, but still the same game. Yeah. And it came down to a field goal again. This time Georgia was on the good end of it again, but because of a missed field goal and not a made one this time. So interesting. I mean, that's fun to point out.
It is indeed. I think I already said this. This is the largest fourth quarter comeback in CFP history, down 14. I think now teams are 1-17 after trailing in the fourth quarter by more than 14, and Georgia's the lone win in that. So
how about that?
Just amazing.
I'll piggyback on that, Clark, too. Something I saw. If you go back and you look where the game, kind of the momentum of the game started to turn in the fourth quarter from last year's national championship game against Alabama and Indianapolis, and then what happened Saturday night in Atlanta, Georgia. Go to the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Some 10 minutes and some change, and start seeing in both of those games the parallels of how the game shifted and the momentum started to shift at that point in time. And that just tells me right there, Clark, is that is when that culture has been established, and the agility of the team, the strength and the stamina to finish, man. Just basically knowing that they're going to finish and is established, and it's something that you just don't create overnight, man. It's something that a lot of hard work goes into, and a lot of belief and effort is into it, and but it's unreal.
Yeah. This coming from ESPN, Stetson has 2 career wins in the fourth quarter when trailing. So that would be the national championship in Missouri of this year. So two big games.
That's good.
This also coming from ESPN. I can't find anything original anymore. Literally, by the time I get home and watch the replay, there's already a million facts out there. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting them, and then I'm offering them.
That's right. That's right.
I'm saying, if you haven't seen this,
throw them out there.
So anyway, ESPN said this too. Ohio State, this is the first time they have lost back-to-back games since 2013.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Did not know that.
Yeah, so
that's great.
They're a very good team. I mean, they have been for the past decade, and some would say they've been a little underperforming with the talent they've had. And I know, Ryan Day. People are already you're hearing more and more grumbling about him and his ability to finish. Kind of reminds me of the same situation Mark Richt found himself in. A good coach, don't get me wrong, but couldn't really finish the game. Yeah. And that's something that Kirby has learned. It's interesting how in this same building, Mercedes-Benz, we've been on the other side of that game like we were last night. We've been in those situations where we should have won the game. And, we were the best team on the field, but we really weren't because we didn't win the game. We didn't finish in the fourth quarter. So, I'm fed up with people saying that the best team didn't win last night. No, we are the best team because we won the football game and we scored more points.
That's right.
Don't get me wrong. Right. It was a very, very ugly win.
That's right.
But the best team always wins.
That's exactly right, Clark. So, and then also it wasn't Georgia's best effort. No. It wasn't Georgia's best effort. And that Ohio State team was prepared. Ryan Day and staff had them ready to go, especially on the offensive side of the football, and they played lights out, man. They played really good. They had a good game plan and played good enough to win for them. But, just Georgia being able to not play their best effort, and everybody in that Butchmere building tomorrow morning will tell you the same thing. But still to win, Clark, that's the championship moxie that we talk about. That is just there, man. And I mean, it's just like now, and you see what I love, man, is you're getting to the point where you see so much Georgia hate by opposing fan bases and just college football, just critics out there, is the excuses are being built in on why Georgia won the football game. That's when you know you've arrived, Clark, is when you start seeing that being just cast down on your program of how they didn't deserve to win it. Harrison, there was a cheap targeting call that should have been called, and he got knocked out. If he didn't get knocked out, Ohio State win. Completely forgetting the fact that Darnell Washington left the game in the first couple possessions. Arguably our, 1B and Jalen Carter being 1A defensive player wasn't even playing in the game. Nolan Smith to set the edge. I mean, Lad McConkey banged up. Injuries are part of the game. It's not like Georgia's won all these games 100% healthy. So that is part of the game, man. And, it's amazing just hearing this stuff and hearing the outside noise of it. I love it because it means that people are seeing that Georgia is just a sleeping giant that has been awoke, Clark. The sleeping giant has been awakened, and it's not going back to bed anytime soon. And it's just it's special to see where this program's going, the trajectory of it, and the potential, man. And that's games that we've seen championship caliber programs in the past just win. You don't know how, you really can't explain it, but just because of what they are, they do it. They find a way and they win it, and that's just how it is. That is how it is, and Georgia has entered into that realm.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You summed it up there. Good. I mean, God, and it's phenomenal to have heard this. Stetson went 23 for 34. CJ went 23 for 34. Stetson had 398 passing yards. CJ Stroud had 348 passing yards.
Wow.
Stetson went 11.7 average passing yards per pass. CJ Stroud went 10.2 yards per pass.
Wow.
3 touchdowns from Stetson, 4 from CJ. I mean, if you read those numbers, you're thinking, God, this was a pretty good game back and forth. It didn't feel that way, though. Why did it not?
I don't know how it didn't feel that way, because you would have thought CJ Stroud just threw for over 500. It kind of felt that way just looking at it in the stadium. But you look at that stat line, man, you know what that tells me. And then also, it was just 3 touchdown passes for Stetson, like you said, but 4 total touchdowns is what I was going to add to it, man, because if you add in his rushing touchdown, they're both on the same page with that. And what happened is basically 2 great quarterbacks, Clark, dueling each other, and CJ Stroud laid it all out on the field, and Stetson Bennett did too, and point blank period. That tells me right there, the box score of what the final score was in the Chick-fil-A Bowl tells me right there, Stetson Bennett out-dueled CJ Stroud and won that football game.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the numbers, how else can you say it? I mean, it's just two gunslingers, 2 guys who are leaders of their team, man. And when big plays need to happen, Stetson Bennett made a couple more of them, and that's not taking away anything from C.J. Stroud, because he's a phenomenal quarterback, and I could make a case should be the number 1 overall draft pick in the NFL. I think I gained a lot of respect for C.J. Stroud last night, just because I've never really fully watched him play, but to see the way he carried himself, his post-game interviews, man, and just his demeanor on the field and how dang good of a quarterback he is. Yeah. He is the man, and he is an elite quarterback, and played a heck of a game last night. Mm-hmm. But, I guess you wasn't thinking if you're just looking at that, but hey, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, you take away Stetson's interception, you take away a couple of plays where he definitely tried to force the ball. I think you could clearly say that he had the better performance last night. And I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of on the edge there with. I don't know. I don't know who won the quarterback battle, but I do know who won the football game. Well, that's all that really matters.
You just look at those last 2 drives, man. Especially in particular that last drive. Yeah. I mean, some of them throws to Bowers, to Keiris Jackson were just on a dime.
Yeah,
on a dime, Clark. And it's just something that winners and people who just got that it factor. And I think Stetson Bennett's got the it factor. Mm-hmm. And, it just keeps happening time and time again.
I know.
Just the moments like, it's got to be too big for him this time.
Right.
No.
I think he's been in all the highest pressure moments you could possibly be
happening. Yeah. He just keeps going out there and doing it and doing it. And even there are times that you think, oh my gosh, here we go. No, he goes out there so dang good at just shaking stuff off. If something doesn't go right, hey, it doesn't matter. He's going to flush that away. And I mean, that's just the veteran leadership I think he instills on this whole team, man. And something that we need to enjoy watching him play one more game, because he is going to go down as the greatest Georgia football player behind number 34 to ever put on the red and black. And you can make a case, win or lose, Saturday for that. I know that's hard to believe. I know it's hard for me to say it, but at this point, it is, Clark. Yeah, really, it is, man. And
yeah, I agree.
I mean, just some of the stuff that he does is just phenomenal, And you know, I mean, I'm just going to say it. I mean, those numbers don't lie, and it shocked me to see that they were just mirrored like that. And then Stetson's actually were a little bit better in most of the categories.
Well, since we're talking about offense, let's just hop into the offensive performance last night. You know, the first drive of the game, Adam, we started out on a roll. We got a quick 3 and out, got the ball, and I said to my buddy McKay, I said, there is no better way to start a football game than to kick the ball off, get a 3 and out, or to make a stop, and then turn around and go put up 7.
That's right.
And we started out so hot on offense, but sputtered out, you know, missed that field goal. God, that's a huge momentum killer, and it wasn't an ideal way to start the game.
I mean, you look at it too, man, and that third down play, the zone read to Kenny McIntosh where Stetson pulled it. Man, if he makes that read right there, those linebackers crashing. Right. There was a hole that was opening up. It looked like, but hey, you know, that's all right. That happens. But it was they really came out hot there, Clark, and moved the ball down the field on the first drive.
I actually think on that third down, he made the right read. They were just zone blitzing and, you know, with their backers, and they filled the hole, and Stetson didn't have anywhere to go. So I don't know. That's just my analysis of it. But Adam, there were a few problems last night that I think we need to address. First of all, we got behind the sticks way too many times. I mean, there were a lot of 3rd and longs, a lot of 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, you know, whether it was a penalty or, you know, tackle for loss or just play got blown up. There were a lot of 3rd and longs, though. And, you know, we listen to this. We went just 2 for 10 on 3rd downs last night.
Wow.
That's 20%. Wow. That's not very good.
And offense has been dang good on 3rd down efficiency the whole year. And, Ohio State did a good job. What I'll have to compliment Jim Knowles and Ohio State's defense on, they had a good game plan. They were just going to get beat by number 19 all game. And, you know, it was something that he didn't get targeted a lot, but that's the thing, though. These games where we don't see Brock Bowers get many targets, when he does, they're huge difference makers in the football game, man. And when Stetson did find number 19, they were big connections and just huge, man. And then especially too, a lot of people don't realize how much the offense revolves around some stuff that Darnell Washington does in different packages, especially getting outside on the perimeter and just being the best blocker that you could have in that spot too. So Oscar Delp had to come in and I think did a good job, you know, having to step up and fill that role. That's very hard because we have a unicorn in our tight end. Well, we have a couple unicorns.
Maybe 3.
We have multiple unicorns in the tight end room, but for Oscar Delp coming in, you know, because Bowers got hurt, man, on like the 3rd offensive series. So majority of the game he wasn't in there, and you have to adjust from there, having a key piece missing. I think all those guys who were in there, you know, stepped up on it, man. And I don't think McConkey was 100%. And you know, it's stuff that guys really just reached down deep. And they were saw what was happening to the defense. They knew, you know, they had to go out there and they had to execute and do their part, man. And they did, they did.
Stetson had a bad turnover. Let's just call it how it is. Inside our own 40. Good pressure by Ohio State on that play. I don't know if it was miscommunication or what, but I tell you what, had Kenny Mack had just a couple more seconds to run downfield, and if Stetson had just a couple more seconds to the pocket, that would have been a touchdown. Because it was a 1-on-1, and I think it may have been a linebacker who picked that ball off.
I think it was. You know, it looked like that Kenny Mack just kind of like had that, just kind of cornered off that corner, or went straight up with a little flat route. It looked like it was just a design, little just flat out the route out in the flats right there, and then he just broke it upfield and just a little miscommunication right there. You had it.
I thought Dejon, Kenny, and Kendall all had some great runs last night. I felt like we ran the ball pretty decently. You know, I mean, now I will say 3rd quarter, it seemed like Ohio State made some adjustments and suffocated it. I mean, they stifled our running game in the 3rd quarter.
I would, you know, the one complaint that I would have, it seemed like the 3rd quarter play calling was just kind of interesting. You know, it just seemed like we weren't getting in any rhythm. We weren't. It was just more of a run, pass. Like we were bound and determined to start where we left off in the first half and just run it down their throats, man. Run it down their throats, and it wouldn't happen there. There was multiple times we only just got 1 yard gain per carry right there, and that's what forced a lot of third and long plays, man, where you knew it was going to be a pass and just made you one-dimensional on those third downs in the third quarter, and you didn't connect. I mean, but was there even a completed pass in the whole quarter? And if there was, it was late.
It was late.
In the
quarter.
I'm
pretty sure it was late.
And, that was kind of a thing there, but still, great job of the offense, man. And Monken, everybody rallying around the fourth quarter, whole completely different story. But I felt like there was some times that Georgia was able to open up some lanes, man, especially in the first half, and really run the football efficiently. Yep. So
I tell you, Adam, Arian Smith is a cheat code. He's just a human cheat code. And I love the aggressiveness to take that deep shot early on in the game, or second quarter maybe. But, he just has a phenomenal speed. And he may be the quickest person.
He's a burner, man.
Football. I don't know.
We've talked about it for the past couple of years. If he could just get healthy,
right,
how vital of a part he could be, get in shape and getting that game speed where he is full 100%. And what we saw last night, how dangerous he could be. He's a guy, you could just throw the ball downfield as far as you can. He's going to go run under it,
Exactly.
And just scorch by, hit the guy at the corner covering him and the safety over the top,
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that it was good to see somebody, I feel like, who's been very patient, who's had a rough road, had some adversity through some injury stuff, man, and to see him get his moment in the national spotlight, good on him, man. Good on Arian Smith.
Yes.
So, great to see.
Yeah, another guy who really stepped up last night was A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah.
You just cannot say enough about his ability to step up in the big moment. And it's crazy how it's happened in back-to-back years where in the playoff games or national championship games where he's just stepped up. Him and Stetson, they have this magical connection. You think back to last year's national championship game when he caught that 40, 50-yard pass in the fourth quarter. A.D. Mitchell, I mean, he made a huge difference last night.
He did, man. I mean, it's good having him back. It helps, it opens up what you could do on the offensive side of the football with him. Stretching the field, good route runner, man. And, it was nice to see. There was a couple times I feel like him and Stetson weren't in sync, but, he hadn't had a lot of course, first-team reps with Stetson this year because he's been injured a majority of the year. And I feel like some of the times he was able to go and practice, he wasn't in that first team at first, starting to go. So just kind of knocking off a little rust, so to speak. And getting back in sync, I feel like, is what they're doing. But he did a great job, and I felt like the receiver, Marcus Rosenby-Jack-Saint, had a couple good catches. Coming back to the football, man, in the middle of the field. And, I feel like they did very well moving the ball through there as well. I mean, I really do, especially starting the game just on fire.
Right.
On fire.
Another guy I want to shout out is Kearis Jackson. He had the catch of his career. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. That was a guy who has stuck around, who's done a lot for Georgia, played a lot of football at Georgia, and had a very just great attitude. And for him to make a big catch in that would be something he'll never forget.
Oh, yeah.
Never forget. Yeah. So very, very good.
I tell you, Adam, another big play was the 2-point conversion. That was gigantic after the Arian Smith touchdown. It's a great route by Ladd.
Oh, absolutely huge, Clark. That's when you have Ty Monken's got his plays of what he's going to do on 2-point conversion opportunities, man, when you got to have two right there. So being able to execute that, great throw by Stet and a good catch by Ladd, man, and to cut it to just a 3-point deficit at that point, man. Yeah. And you just saw that. That's when the momentum was just starting to roll, starting to really get in Georgia's favor, and big play right there, and something, that's why they do that in practice, why they go through them 2-point conversion plays that they have. Every offense coordinator's got their play, and I guarantee that was Ty Monken's play right there.
And it looked like he was playing through an injury at that point, because when he got up after off the ground, I mean, he was. Is his knee?
Yeah, his knee. His bruised knee he's been battling with all year, Clark. It's been something that's plagued him for a while, re-aggravated in the SEC championship, not 100%, but went out there and just like everybody out there, just had a great effort last night and our Saturday night, and just something that was very, very big for him to do, man, is be able to get that 2-point conversion.
Right. Stetson, man, and we're going to reiterate this, he just looks so calm, cool, calm, and collected. I watched the replay today, Adam, and I saw, right before he took the field on that last drive, touchdown drive, he was just so cool, calm, and collected on the sideline. Looked like he had some confidence about him and like he was about to go score, in which he did. We talked about that route to Kearis. Kearis did a great job, catching that ball through the middle, and then obviously the pass to Brock there, and finally the catch in the end zone to go up to A.D. Mitchell. Just big.
Unbelievable again. That's really all the words I have to describe just tonight, because I don't know how they won. I don't know how they won it. And it was just a great effort, great play calling down the stretch right there, man. And an offense that had lost sync, man. I really felt like it lost its rhythm, lost its groove to the last, when the moment was big, those last two offensive possessions just came storming down the field. I think it was huge, Clark, too, the Arian Smith touchdown.
Yeah.
Midway through the fourth quarter like that, and imagine, you didn't eat off any clock right there. It was just such a big momentum swing right there to just be able to just strike fast right there.
Right.
Just get that touchdown real quick, and then to be able to get the ball back and have time on the clock like that was big. And I think that was one of the bigger plays that, a lot of people won't talk about, in the sense of, everybody wants to talk about the first down by Brock Bowers that he got right there, and the timeout on the punt that we'll get to talking about. But Arian Smith's long touchdown pass, being able to just score in a hurry like that, was one of the bigger plays of the game, in my opinion.
Well, and I want to shout out Arian for that, because it's not that the defender fell, the corner just fell, but it wasn't just because he just fell. It was because Arian ran a great route and got separation, and turned him around. He just didn't. He flipped his hips. The corner. It was such a good route.
Just a good route.
Don't want to take anything from away from Arian on that route, and just a great catch. That's one of those moments. You see the ball coming towards you, and you're thinking, oh, my gosh, I got to catch this.
That's where I was scared to death. I know. I was sitting there when you're sitting there. It takes forever that ball to land in his hands. And you're just like, please don't drop it. Please don't drop it. Please don't drop it. Right. And, I caught it beautifully. Caught it with his hands.
And it was a great pass by Stetson. Because in the same way that you can overthink about catching, you can overthink about throwing a deep ball on the target.
Right. So that's exactly right.
Good throw by Stetson.
Just good connection right there. Good pitch and catch, man. And that started led to big things happening then there at the end of the fourth quarter. But I wonder what would happen if it would have took us 3 or 4 minutes to drive down the field, Clark. Yeah. And still being down by another possession too. But being able to do that and then stop them on the defense side of the football, then right after that, and getting the ball back, was huge. And that's something I don't think that's talked about enough, was how important it was to strike fast on offense right there with Arian Smith, that particular drive, and not eat off as much of the clock as they were able to with that.
Yeah.
Just best case scenario for sure.
Well, it was, I thought it was a pretty good day for the offense.
Great day. Great day.
We went against a very solid Ohio State defense. Very, very good athletes great on that side of the ball. So,
well coached and everything, man. Put up a lot of good numbers this year, and for what Georgia's offense did, to win championships, man, you have to put points on the board.
That is true.
Even with as good of a defense that Georgia has, you have to have adequate offense, or you're not winning college football playoff games in this day and age. And what we have with Tom Monken and Stetson, those guys, going to have to come up big again, man. We'll talk about it has to come up big again.
Yep. So. All right, Georgia's defense. It was a little bit of a shaky day for our secondary.
Just a little bit again.
Gave up a bunch of passing yards, but hey, we did what it took to win the game. And I tell you, Adam, and people are going to call me crazy, but the defense won this game. They made the stops necessary and gave our offense the one chance we needed to go down the field and do what we needed to do and go up.
What I loved about it, Clark, is they looked like they were very gassed, very winded, especially late in that second half, man. But they reached down, they rallied behind each other, and like you said, you hit it. But when they needed stops, when they needed to just stonewall folks, they were able to do it. And that's why I'm just proud of them. They easily could have just laid down, Clark.
Exactly.
Started pointing fingers at one another. You could have seen bad body language and everything, but no, you didn't see that, man, because that's not the standard here at Georgia. You saw them just get right back on it, man, and come out there time and time again. And there isn't anybody in America that can stop an offense like Ohio State. Just completely contain them, Clark. Yeah. I feel like in a sense of just completely shut them down, especially when they were playing what they were playing like Saturday night in Atlanta, man. And everybody says that's Kirby's kryptonite, is a mobile quarterback and good wide receivers. Who's kryptonite? Who's defensive side of the ball? Defensive coordinator, head coach, whatever's kryptonite is it not, man?
Right.
And that's something that I'm very proud to see that they really bowed up when they needed to, man. But I got to eat some crow, Clark. I just got to tell you, I got to eat some crow, man. I really thought that this was going to be a different game plan than what we saw against LSU in the secondary. secondary as far as that we were going to be more man coverage and get a lot of pressure on C.J. Stroud and be really disruptive. And then I said that I don't think he'd do anything with his legs. I thought he'd stay in the pocket, man, and choose not to run. But dang, was I wrong about that. Well, he was able to break containment and really get a lot of positive yardage downfield.
C.J., yeah, I mean, hats off to him. He avoided the pressure that we did bring. And I think we did get some good pressure. We got to him a few times. But, man, he avoided the pressure. He got outside the pocket, and he just found guys downfield. Look, it is tough. It is tough, y'all, to stop a scramble drill. When you got a quarterback who has the accuracy and the athleticism of C.J. Stroud, and you've got those kind of receivers, it is tough when you are in man-to-man coverage, like Malachi Starks was, God bless him, like Keeley was, to slow down those guys and stay on them for 6, 7, 8 seconds.
Oh, yes. So somebody that's just accurate as C.J. Stroud is, man, that is a hard job for anybody in this third level like that. But like I said, stops were made when they needed to be, Clark, and that's what I'm very proud of that defensive unit for doing. Yep. But you got to tip your hat to Ohio State. Great skill players, amazing quarterback. Talked about that earlier with what C.J. Stroud is, an NFL starting caliber quarterback without a doubt, with several NFL starting receivers there too. The route running was just perfect, and play calling was good, and they really moved the ball on Georgia. And but when Georgia needed to stop them most, they were able to. They were able to. So.
Yeah, I tell you, you really got to give props to their offensive line too. We talked about physicality, last week. We talked about how – yes, we preached it. I tell you, they were physical. And they blew us off the ball a lot. And, yes, I'm with you. That surprised me.
Surprised me. I really thought that we weren't going to get pushed around on the defensive line like I felt like we did. I felt like we would get more pressure coming up the middle, man. And, like you said, though, at times we did get home, Clark. But, we didn't see that just base, I think, defense just getting home and really containing C.J. Stroud in the pocket. But C.J. Stroud is so dang good at moving around in the pocket, Clark, and being able to step up. But one thing too I noticed, Clark, his drop back was so deep. And it gave him so much more time, and he was able to do that because he has such arm strength. I mean, he was going back deep in the pocket every time he would drop back, man. And of course, that's just a longer yardage to get to him down. But he was able to do that because he's got the arm strength to make up for those few extra yards that he's put himself dropping back in the pocket pretty deep, and that bought him some time as well. But all in all, though, there were some big times where some sacks needed to happen, and Georgia stepped up and made it, man. I mean, a couple of times on Javon Bullard came off the edge right there, and it was overall just did what had to be done. But I could tell you, in Athens, Georgia this week, and going on out in Los Angeles, Kirby will keep preaching to that whole entire defensive unit that you got to bring your A game come next Monday night. You're gonna get beat by this TCU offense, man.
Yeah. Hey, they protected the ball very well. Ohio State, that's one thing that they do well is they limit their turnovers, and we turned the ball over. They won the turnover margin. We had a tough break early on with that fumble. You remember that fumble? Yeah. And we didn't recover. It was out of bounds.
Great play by Keely Ringo, man. I mean, he caught up to Harrison Jr., man, and he was able to just perfect technique of stripping that football, coming up behind, punching that ball out, and just tough break right there, right on the right, and it bounced out of bounds right there on the sideline, and two guys going after it hard and just didn't get it. But I thought that was a really great hustle individual play. And if you notice, Clark, if you go back and you watch that play, Keely Ringo was actually rushing the quarterback. He was rushing the quarterback and came all the way from behind the line of scrimmage back to halt down Marvin Harrison Jr. So
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was. I didn't see that until I looked on a replay of it earlier.
I tell you, two guys I want to shout out on the defense, Javon Bullard and Chris Smith. Man, they are not afraid of contact.
No,
I love a
they'll
safety
come down to the alley,
or a DB
put a hat on
or a
hat,
nickelback, yes, and just come downhill and tackle somebody. They aren't afraid of it.
My two favorite players on the team.
Yeah.
My two favorite player on the team, man. I like them, man. I think they're great guys, and they're just very selfless in what they do. And like you said, Clark, they're not scared of contact, man. They'll come down that alley and then put a hat on a hat, man. And Javon Bullard, a great textbook hit by him on Marvin Harrison Jr. that unfortunately eliminated Marvin Harrison Jr. from playing in the game, probably concussion symptoms. I'm assuming. I never confirmed that, but I'm guessing that's what it had to have been. But I think one thing Javon Bullard Bullard's been good in that star position all year. Like you said, Clark, very physical, comes off the edge and does a good job rushing the quarterback too when called upon. And somebody I think who is going to be big in the national championship game. Going to be big in the national championship game too.
Yeah, a huge stop. Huge stop by our defense to hold them to 3 points at the end of the third quarter. That changed the game.
Yeah,
it really did change the game, and people will overlook it.
Yep.
But yes, talking about the no targeting, the targeting call, that wasn't targeting. Yeah, I mean, just a big stop to hold them to 3 points. And, if they go up 7, I think it's a 3-possession game. And then that's really when it starts to get out.
Absolutely. Absolutely, boys. I got frustrated at that point in time, Clark. Because from the upper deck over there in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, man, I thought it was a textbook target. I really felt like he launched and had led with his helmet from my angle, and I was just frustrated. I felt like it was a bad ball, that if somebody got their head around, they could have knocked it down or even intercepted it, and it was going to give them a 1st and goal right there, and then it was just going to be inevitable. They were going to be able to punch it in, but no, turns out it was a great football play by Javon Bullard and breaking that pass up against the nation's best receiver, man, and putting a great clean hit on him and a hard hit. And, and a good, like you said, Clark, a good goal line defensive stand right there.
Yeah. Defense wins championships. Our defense won the fourth quarter. We may not have won the first, second, or third. Well, we won the fourth quarter when it matters most. When it's crunch time, they stepped up. We had a big sack by Jamon Dumas Johnson late in the fourth quarter.
Yep, big pop. That was big, man. He shot out of a cannon like in the middle of the field right there. And a great play by him. Great play by him. Yeah. And there was a lot of times, Clark, like you said, we got some good penetration and we're rushing some good gaps, but it was just Stroud would make a play, or it would just be the wrong gap, and but it was something that when they needed to do it, they really got pressure on them and disrupted some timing. And those last couple possessions Ohio State had, I mean, that's what championship football is all about: is stepping up, reaching down deep when it doesn't look like you have anymore, and just finding that extra gear and being able to get it done. And that's what they did last night.
Oh yeah, Georgia's special teams, Adam. Did you notice that we didn't talk about the special teams last week? Preview them?
We did we? We did. And I thought about that after I went back and saw that.
And I tell you, Adam, it was a mistake. You can never take special teams for granted.
No, you can't.
We're never doing that again.
Pivotal part.
That's on me.
As showed by last night. As showed by last night.
Exactly.
There were some big moments that were when the special teams units were on the field.
Yeah.
That happened, that shaped what happened was the final result of this football game.
Yeah, first of all, give Jackpot a break. The kid's a human. He's in college. He's a kid.
Being a college
he's younger than us.
Tough gig.
Oh, it is.
Tough gig, man. That's a tough gig. Somebody who's been pretty reliable in his Georgia career.
Exactly.
And, that's fine. Georgia won the football game.
Right.
Georgia won the football game.
Yeah, he missed 2, but he made 2 big ones that if we didn't have, we wouldn't have won the game. So that's how I look at it. I like the attempt on kickoff, and I'm sure you remember this, to kick it to the returner at about the 15, 20-yard. He was deep. Yeah. And there's just one man. And I like the idea, although it didn't really work out. But I guess the idea was to kick it shorter, make them come up, make that one back come up and try to make the play. And, a lot of times what will happen is they'll drop it because they're running at it full speed, trying to catch it in midair.
Yes.
And,
bounce off their pads, bounce about 10, 15 yards in front of them. And, the guys coming downfield have a chance to get on the football.
Yeah. So
I like
that. That's a good idea. And
that's the thing. You got to stay disciplined in your lanes. When you're going to do that, though, you can't give up big yardage in return like that.
That's a good point.
But no, great job of that. I think every time that they did return a kickoff or punt, that Georgia was able to do a good job of getting down there and tackling the guy.
Yeah. Good punts by Thorson. I'm proud of Kieris. He did a great job on punt returns. I know you cannot watch a punt return.
I can't do it. I couldn't do it last night, especially Kieris. Hadn't had much time back there.
Right.
And that's just another sign that Ladd McConkey wasn't 100% because he wasn't back there. He's been the punt returner all year. Kieris has done that. Last year, he was the man back there, too. So Ladd had it this year and going back there. And when called upon, he did a good job. Just a veteran guy who just does his job.
Yeah. Kirby called the greatest timeout of Georgia football history of all time.
I think of college football history. Yeah. Of college football history, I mean, that was absolutely huge, man. I mean, if Ohio State converts that, it's looking pretty. I mean, Georgia's down by 11 right there. They get a first down, get momentum. It's demoralizing for a defense. get off the field, feel like you're off the field, then have to come right back on it, especially in that scenario right there. So I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a guy who, an analyst or whoever, or Kirby or whoever spotted that something was in with that formation, that it could potentially be a fake, especially with that short yardage for first down, and be able to get that timeout off, man, was huge. But Clark, you were talking about, and I didn't know, so there were 12 men actually Ohio State had on the field there.
They did. If you go back and watch it, there were 12 men lined up on the fake punt. So I don't know if somebody would have caught that, but if they would have, it would have negated the play anyway.
Right. But I don't know. That's something that definitely was big to see, that to catch that. I mean, that safe seasons. That safe season. Just little details of the game like that. And great job by whoever's on staff, Kirby, whoever pointed that out, and to get that timeout in.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
The biggest play of the game.
You're probably right. And then last but not least, let's talk about the kick, Adam. Where were you when Ruggles muddled the field goal? You like that?
I like that. I like that, Clark. That was good. Muddled the field goal.
I tried to find something that rhymed.
I like it, baby. The clock hit midnight right when he missed that kick.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
they said the ball dropped in New York, but it hooked left in the state of Georgia, baby. I love that. When I heard that, man. I mean, a lot of good stuff. Miracle at midnight, everything. Clark, I was dejected, man. I was dejected. That whole fourth quarter, I was like, Georgia's not going to win. I was already telling myself, man, thank God we had last year.
Yeah.
Thank God we had last year. This Ohio State team, they came out, they were prepared, they moved the ball on us, and they executed well. And I was proud. Then I was thinking, well, I'm just proud Georgia, didn't lay down, and really fought back. And, I'm going to be proud of this team's effort if they do lose this football game. And was right there. Then you just kept building hope. And, man, that's just what the culture and everything about this program has turned around, because now Georgia just wins games like that. Championship teams find a way to win. So I kind of felt good about it, Clark, in the sense that I realized that when I was listening to the radio, Scott Howard said that his season long was a 47-yard field goal attempt before this night came. He had a 48-yarder right before this field goal attempt he had, man. And he didn't strike the ball well. Ball well, barely got across the goal line, or the crossbars right there. And then this one was a 50-yarder, big moment, and I kind of felt like it might happen. Kind of felt like it might happen, man. And watching that ball will be a memory that I'll go to my grave with, man. And then just sit, and I could already at that point in time, when reacting to a field goal, I knew which red and black I needed to look at for the best reaction.
Yeah.
I knew the Ohio State red and black where it was at, so you could see, man. And I saw, because that was on the left side of that goalpost right there, was all the Ohio State fans sitting in that end zone. So when I saw that ball, and you didn't see any jubilation by that Ohio State crowd right there, you knew. Because I talked about in podcasts previous that this year Mercedes-Benz Stadium has made me realize just how bad my eyesight is these days, Clark. But it was amazing to see that and just know that he didn't get it. Absolutely, those are the games you dream to play in if you're a player, and the coaching and everything. And as a fan, you get to see your favorite football team win.
Yeah,
about gave us a heart attack, but unbelievable.
Well, I would have kicked myself had I not been there, because that was Rose Bowl maybe 2.0. Yeah, it was just wild
to do it in Atlanta. I mean, just 70% of just your closest friends there, Georgia red and black, everybody with the same reaction. It's special, man. It's special knowing we're going back to the Natty.
Yes, one quick thing I did right before that kick, the last field goal. I asked these guys in front of me, there were two Ohio State fans. I said, so is this kicker, how is he historically? I mean, how does he do? Is he pretty good?
Yeah.
I wanted him to tell me that he was good. Right. Do a little reverse psychology,
Right. Yeah. Want to hear that he was automatic.
Right. And everything. Yes.
Well, what did he say?
And he said, he said the kicker award, I can't remember the name of it, but, he was a runner up for it. And, he hasn't had to kick a lot this year.
Yes, really? Yes. I didn't even know that.
For last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
But he said, he's pretty money, man. And I knew right then. I said, I got him. And I had a feeling after that point.
About that time, man.
Anyway.
About that time. Hey, let us know what reactions y'all had, man. Email us in. Tell us the stories. If you got videos, pictures, everything, send it to Row 60. We would love to hear about it. What a memorable night. Hope it is a memory that you and your family and friends and loved ones, whoever you are with, will share with each other until you go to the grave. That's what it's all about.
Adam, that game is in the past. We've got one more to win.
Ohio State's on the wall. Ryan Day's on the wall. We had our list right here a couple episodes shows back of Ryan Day circled. All these coaches that Kirby Smart's done crossed off. Ryan Day put an X through them, man. Georgia, a big win over Ohio State.
Big win.
Now it's on to the Cinderella, baby.
Yep.
Now it's on to Cinderella, the queen of the ball. So let's see what happens. Let's see what TCU, if they're ready to roll. What we got, Carl?
Georgia versus TCU, Monday, January 9th, 2023.
Yes, sir, baby. 2023. That's weird to say.
I know.
That's weird to say. But
we've got a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. If you're going to the game, it'll be a 4:30 kick.
That's crazy. Hey, let me ask you this real quick, Clark. What would you say if you were told before the season that Georgia would be playing Texas Christian in a bowl game? Where would you
say
think
that you were absolutely crazy?
But,
I would assume.
Would you assume?
I would maybe assume Fiesta
that
Bowl.
TCU. Oh, you would have thought like TCU actually made the playoff.
Sorry.
Or would you think that Georgia had a bad year and we were playing them in like the Texas Bowl?
No. I see what you're saying. I would say maybe like the Sugar Bowl or something.
Yeah, that would have been fair. I would have said that. Not make the playoffs and then TCU have a big year. Maybe Oklahoma or somebody be in the playoff if they slip in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable that you never know in college football. And this is one of the bigger Cinderella underdog stories. I guess we've seen the college football playoff area, right?
Oh, it has to be. It's got to be.
In the field. So, yeah. So go on with it then.
All right, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the history of this matchup. Georgia leads the series 4-0. We've never been beaten by TCU. We've played them 4 times. 1942, we won a national championship then. 1980, we won a national championship then.
Nice.
1988, definitely did
not win a national championship then.
In 2016, we didn't win a national championship, but that was Kirby's first bowl
year.
game.
That was the start. That was that was when you were laying the foundation for the program in a championship culture.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I remember
that was a really good win. That was. That
was a fun game.
It was.
Trenton Thompson had a game.
He did.
Remember that? He had a game, but that was a fun little afternoon in Memphis, man. And first bowl win of Kirby Smart's tenure at Georgia.
Yeah. TCU has won 2 national championships. I did not write down the years, but I'm pretty sure it's 1938, 1935.
It was somewhere in the 30s. It was pre-World War II stuff, But
Great Depression era.
Yeah, Great Depression era. So, I mean, this is big for them. I don't know how big of a fan base TCU has, man, but you can best bet that their brother, their sister, their grandmother, their great uncle, their son and their daughter and their all of their family tree is going to be in attendance in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
Whatever they got to do to get them there. They're going to go get their purple on, and they're going to go to old SoFi Stadium and cheer on the Frogs and do all that stuff. They do that stuff, man. So, I mean, and you can't blame them.
Yeah.
You can't blame them. I mean, golly. I mean, if you're a TCU fan and realizing that you're actually going to the national championship, well, the year started, that you just get rid of your longtime legendary coach that has a statue in front of your stadium, been there 20 plus years, man, done some good things for your program, elevate it to, and then you hire a coach from your crosstown rival, Southern Methodist,
right?
And he comes on and it's
first year.
Yeah, unreal story.
Crazy.
Unreal story. Just shows the belief, the buy-in of that team, man.
And they were supposed to finish 7th. They were projected to finish 7th in the Big 12.
Yes, absolutely, man. Nowhere near the top dog of the Big 12, man, or any of these preseason projections had them anywhere close to seeing the playoff. But here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. And hey, look, they were a very good football team. I know people are already, especially Georgia fans, we're thinking, we should beat TCU. Yeah, we probably should.
Yep.
But they are a very good football team.
That they are.
They've defied all odds this season. They are full of pure grit. They don't go away.
Right.
They are literally a team who has not given up any at all this entire season, even in the Big 12 championship when they faced Kansas State and inevitably lost.
They're not going to go away. I can tell you that. It doesn't matter how much we get up on them, Clark. I really don't feel like they're going to go away. That's just not in their DNA, not in their nature. I don't think it's not in Max Duggan, their quarterback's nature, and that's what got them here. But I'll tell you, I feel good about it.
You're feeling good?
Feeling good about it.
Good. All right.
Feeling good about it.
We'll talk about it here in just a second. TCU is the first Big 12 team to win a college football playoff game. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oklahoma never got it done.
No, he didn't. Texas hasn't made it to
is Oklahoma the only Big 12 team that's made it to the playoff?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been
multiple
eliminated.
times. Yeah.
They've been eliminated every time.
Mm-hmm. So
I can't think of any other Big 12 teams that would have made it. No, there isn't none. There isn't none. That's it.
So right now, Georgia is the heavy favorite by 13 points.
Ooh, man.
That's a
little scary. I don't like that. I don't like it. But hey,
there will be some people who take the dogs, but I'm sure most of the money's going to be on TCU.
Yeah, that's pretty stout. Pretty stout line right there.
TCU is not afraid of us, and they won't play like it. They will play with house money. They have very little pressure in this game. They have overexceeded. Now, I'm not saying they don't want to come in here and win the game. Of course they do.
Right.
But, I think the fan base, the culture, the feel of this team right now is like, hey, we've exceeded our expectations. Let's just go have fun. Let's go try.
Right.
They don't have anything to lose.
No, they don't. They don't, man. No, they don't. But a very capable football team.
Exactly.
Putting points on the board, man, and a team that's and then you sometimes think about these teams' destiny, Clark.
Right.
That happened, and almost they got that feel, that Cinderella story that you get that feel good story, man.
Mm-hmm.
This will truly be a game where the whole nation is cheering against Georgia, except the state of Georgia.
Exactly.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. Everybody and their brother along the college football landscape will be cheering for Texas Christian, to win a national championship over Georgia, man. And I mean, it's not even close. Maybe but you know what's funny? You know what is hilarious though, Clark, is Texas A&M, $100 million just being spent everywhere on their $100 million coach. Texas, man, throwing money left and right. Who is the first team to make it to the national championship of the college football playoff aired in the state of Texas? TCU.
And you would probably think Texas would end up before TCU.
Or Texas A&M even. I mean, right. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I love that. Love that little fun fact right there.
Yes, that's a good one. There is. I will say this. I don't think they have the same kind of talent and depth that Ohio State does.
No, they don't. They don't. That is where the game's going to be separated at, Clark, is the depth that TCU has is definitely not in the same stratosphere as Georgia. I mean, point blank period. They got heart. They're really good, talented guys, but that when it comes to when this game gets into the second half, man, I do not think that TCU is going to have the depth, especially in the line of scrimmage, that Georgia has, and we'll see how that bodes, man. But I feel really good in our favor of that when it comes to just fresh bodies getting out on the field that are just keep subbing in that is just at the same level compared to what is at in Dallas at Texas Christian. Yeah. So that's something that I feel good about, and I feel good about, Clark, that against the TCU defense that we'll be able to wear them down and kind of do what we need to do in the second half and to win this football game.
So admittedly, I have not watched a lot of TCU football this year.
Me neither.
I haven't we haven't had the time to.
No, I haven't.
We don't do this for a full-time job.
No.
But I will say I sat down today and I watched a good bit of what they do.
A little film study.
So I have some things to talk about. I've got some facts, some opinions.
Nuggets.
Some nuggets. Yeah.
Some nuggets. Okay.
About TCU. So we'll start with their offense. And I mean, some of this stuff is pretty common sense. They do run a traditional air raid offense. Single back forward wise sets is kind of their bread and butter. They're going to spread the ball out. They're going to throw it to their playmakers.
Yep.
They've got two guys, Quentin Johnston and Savion Williams. They're both 6'4", 6'5", respectively.
Yeah.
Big body receivers. Quentin Johnston, that's the 1,000-yard receiver. That's the guy. He's number one on the field.
Wow.
He is just a stud at him.
Yeah, the times I've seen him play, Clark, he is a baller, man. He's going to be a guy who's going to be a lot of NFL scouts going to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that body frame, that body type, man. And again, that's why we have big physical corners at the University of Georgia to go up against receivers like that. So we'll see. I mean, we've had some tough tests in the secondary the past two games. Georgia's been out on the field, so this is going to be no different. This is going to be no different. A very capable gunslinger back there behind center, and some pretty good talent at wide receiver. Now we're not going to go crazy and say they're in the same talent as Ohio State has, especially when you start going the top three. But when you look at that room compared to TCU's room, but they're more than capable of beating you if you don't come to play.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when you're at this point, they're not here out of luck. They're here for a reason.
That's a good
point.
They're
here for a reason, and I think it's even more so, especially when you see that they're not there because they have just a bunch of 4 or 5 stars coming around. It's because that they have heart, they play discipline, and they just execute. They just execute and believe, man, and just make stuff happen.
Yeah. Kendry Miller, I believe is his name. Mm-hmm. He's their leading rusher, 1,000-yard rusher this season. He got banged up in the Fiesta Bowl, but I think that he's going to be good to go.
Okay.
We got a guy named Amari DeMacar. Oh man, I'm butchering this. I'm just going to call him Amari.
Amari. Our friend Amari.
Yeah, friend Amari. He's a solid running back. He had a big game filling in for Kendry against Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl. And then obviously, last but not least, let's talk about Max Duggan. I've heard it both ways. I'm going to say Duggan.
Right.
Max Duggan, he's a phenomenal competitor at him.
Yeah.
He's embraced his role as a starter. A lot of people don't know this, but he didn't even start at the beginning of the season.
No, he didn't. Fun fact, Chad Morris, old Clemson offensive coordinator and Arkansas head coach and SMU head coach, is his son I forgot his first name. I think he was Oklahoma transfer. Was the starter.
Okay.
And he got hurt, I think, in Colorado this year. I remember watching that game. It was like a Friday night game out there. And then Max Duggan came in. So I think Max Duggan, Clark, is a guy very comparable to our own guy.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett. I really think, a guy who's been doubted and just keeps proving the critics wrong. I think it's just a taller version of Stetson in some ways, man. And that's dangerous when you're going up against guys like that. Guys who just don't know how to quit, Clark. Don't know how to quit, are just winners. And I think that's what Duggan has proven to be time and time again this year. You have seen him when he gets out of the pocket, he is able to run downhill and get very physical with defense and defenders. And a guy who he'll leave it out on the line, and he's somebody that, don't let him fool you. He is just as mobile as some of these other quarterbacks that we've seen and we've talked about, and somebody who can beat you with your legs if you don't let the pocket collapse on him and you let him break containment, man.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, true dual threat quarterback. He's had, 32 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns this year. But I will say this, Adam, he's not invincible, okay?
Right.
And boy, this may be a hot take, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of Bo Nix in that he makes big plays, but sometimes he tries to be the hero a little too much. Okay. You saw that a little bit in the Kansas State game. He forced some throws. He made some poor decisions. If we can rattle him a little bit, if we can get pressure on him, if we can contain him in the pocket, I don't know. Maybe we'll wreak some havoc on defense.
I think one thing you're not going to see as much blitzing this game. I think you're going to try to get there with your base and really just collapse the pocket on him, man. He's very good throwing on the run, just like C.J. Stroud is. So I think it's going to be something that you're going to really see us kind of go with that approach and not try to over pursue and leave him running lanes to make plays in. But try to make him, like you said, Clark, is have good coverage in the back end and try to make him force something or make a play, but taking away his advantage and doing it with his legs, man. And because I think, Clark, I just don't see how against this Georgia defense that they're going to be able to get a very balanced offensive attack going, Clark. I really don't know if they're going to be able to run the football on this Georgia defensive front. And that's something that Georgia's going to do first and foremost is take away the run. Right. That's the primary thing is Georgia's going to take away the run. And I think they will be able to do that on this TCU offense, man, and then make them one-dimensional and try to beat you through the air. And then they're like, here we go. Let's go. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can do it for 4 quarters.
Yeah, but if you watch Fiesta ball, though, they were able to move the ball on Michigan through, running the ball. Right. And that was kind of surprising. I don't think they really thought that they could do that. Michigan didn't think TCU could really do that, and they did. So we've got to.
I believe it when I see it against Georgia. I believe it when I see it against. But we'll see. We'll see.
I think that's a comparable opponent, though. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, you never know till you tee it up.
That's right.
And then let's talk a little bit about TCU's defense. They run a 3-3-5. Don't really see that much in the SEC.
Yeah, besides Barry Odom, who's now the UNLV coach. When he was at Arkansas last year in Athens, he ran a 3-3-5 defense, and that should be a favorable defensive front, Clark. That you feel like that you can line up and pound the football.
Yeah,
against.
They do have a guy named Dylan Horton. I think that's kind of their anchor on the line. From what I've seen, the very short amount of quote unquote film I've watched. I mean he plugs some holes. He's a good rusher. I think he converted. I'm pretty sure he started off as a safety. He's a transfer from somewhere. He started off as a safety, and now he's on the line as a defensive end.
Wow.
So Dylan Horton, I think he's pretty good. Linebackers are a little bit slower, but man, they are very physical. We got to watch out for them. That's why I think Monken he's really got to scheme some stuff on the outside, get our guys, beat them with our speed. And I don't know. I'm just tossing up stuff.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, man. I mean, absolutely. I think the big thing is just making sure these coaches get these guys in the right position to make plays. And then you go out there and you make good football plays, one-on-one scenarios and everything against guys who you should be more talented than, man. This is not a team that is recruited to the level that Georgia has, like we just saw in our previous game against Ohio State, where there was, a lot of, when you look at the talent side by side, very close to that. That's not the case with TCU. They're not, when you start looking at the depth chart going down. There is a talent gap. We'll go ahead and say it. But like we said, they've just, let that be a chip on their shoulder all year. The naysayers and everything, all they do is just keep winning. So it's going to be a tough out. But I think that's going to be the thing is just go out there and play to the level you're capable of playing, Clark. You got to play better than you did Saturday night. Kirby Smart said that in the post-game interview. He said, we don't know if we're ready for TCU yet with how they play. But I think if they come out and they play their A-plus game, if they dial in and, get some rest a little bit these next 10 days and go out there and kind of put this game behind them. I think it's going to be important to put the Peach Bowl behind them. But that being said, you can say on the flip side with TCU, because that was a big emotional win over Michigan as well. So who's going to be the team that's going to be able to put the big win, the shoulder pats and everything behind them and focus for being able to be prepared, going out to L.A., going to different time zones, man, and be ready to tee it up in SoFi Stadium Monday night. And I feel pretty confident Kirby Smart doing that. Being the guy who does that. Me too, yes. I like it, man. I like it. I mean, Sonny Dikes has done a phenomenal job. Yes. And Garrett Riley, Lincoln Riley's younger brother, who's the TCU Offense coordinator, has done a good job, man. But still, at the end of the day, I'm going to take Kirby Smart and this coaching staff, getting this team prepared and going out there and winning this football game and take care of business. Clark, it's a great matchup that I feel like that I'm excited to see Georgia play against TCU, and one I never would have believed was going to happen. Here we are, baby.
Yeah, a few more notes on the defense for TCU. They do have two really good corners, Travius, I think I said that right, Travius Hodges-Tomlinson and Josh Newton. They were both first-team Big 12 players, so pretty solid cornerbacks. I think they are a little bit undersized, but, I mean, they can keep up with some guys. So gotta scheme some guys open on them. It looks like they play a lot of zone coverage. Yeah. They dare teams to throw it. Obviously, if you're playing a 3-3-5, obviously you are trying to get teams to throw it because you are going to cover that the best. So it's going to be important for us to be able to run the ball, get those safeties, those linebackers cheating on the run, and then that's when you open it up with a play-action pass, deep ball.
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
Duncan's going to be looking at that. Can we get A.D. Mitchell? Can we get Arian Smith down the field past that third level? Can we get Brock Bowers and maybe hopefully Darnell Washington's back across the middle? Those are going to be the questions. That's what we got to do.
That's right.
I don't know.
I agree, man. I agree. I think the big thing with 3-3-5 is that we're going to see our running backs eat these guys. Kenny McIntosh looked good the other night. Kendall Milton is starting to just keep on looking good, like we talked about, man. So being able to run the ball down their throat, if they're going to line up in a three-man front like that, and in my understanding, it's a traditional 3-3-5.
Right. It is.
3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 DBs, man. So this is an opportunity that I think you're going to see us offensive staff go with, that we're going to just try to line up between the tackles, win the game in the trenches, man. Let this offensive line, this second runner-up, Joe Moore Award-winning line, say, hey, we should have been the guys who won that award, and let's see what we could do and move the football, man, and have some long drives and just some demoralizing drives, Clark, that just kill them, just being able to just gash them and just rip off big yards per carry, and something I think we're going to see do. I think something that was very successful. I know it's two different teams, but still, it's the last time Georgia played this scheme. Had very much success against Barry Odom's Arkansas team in 2021 in October in Sanford Stadium. So I'd like to see a repeat of that. I'd like to see a repeat of that, and the offense just have its way with this defense. A defense just gave up a lot of points in the Big 12. Over 30 to Kansas, I went in overtime in a shootout with Oklahoma State. I think they're like 70th overall in defensive efficiency. And I know with these games, you can throw all these stats out the window. It's one game for it all. But I think, I'm very excited, and I'm very, very confident in Georgia's offensive ability to move the football and put up points against TCU's defense, man. Oh, yeah. And it's going to be something that I think we'll see happen from beginning of the game on.
Yeah.
The beginning of the game. Come out on hot and hit them in the mouth. Yep. Hit them in the mouth, just like last week. Physicality, man. That's what wins these football games. It's physicality to the very end and winning the fourth quarter, baby. Digging
all
down
4
deep.
quarters.
Who's going to be ready to play the fourth quarter the most? Right. Who is going to be ready to just line up against the guy right next to him and be able to keep, not be tired enough to be able to win those battles constantly. So
yeah, I'm with you. Hey, if you want to beat TCU, just a few things left to go here. You have to make more big plays than they do. They absolutely thrive on the big plays. I mean, you think about it, if you watch Fiesta Bowl, they had 2 pick sixes. And that I'm pretty sure that won them the game.
Oh, it absolutely
You take away those 2. I don't know.
They had another interception as well.
Right.
I know when I was watching it short spurts, I saw 3 different interceptions from J.J. McCarthy, the Michigan quarterback, man. So.
They break off these tackles and they just go. That Johnston kid last week, he took what should have been maybe a 10-yard gain for all the way to the house. I mean, for 60 yards. So you got to make more big plays than they do. Limit explosive plays. You have to run the football on these guys. You're going to be able to do that. Hopefully, if you can't, you're not going to win this game.
No.
But Adam, I really do think the matchup is going to be TCU's offensive line versus Georgia's defensive line. Who will win that battle, I think, will say a lot about who wins this football
Absolutely.
game.
Both sides of the line of scrimmage. Again and again, we repeat it, but it's true. That's what college football is about. Who is going to win those battles, man? I agree with you. And a defensive line, Clark, I think is going to have a chip on their shoulder. Yeah. Chip on their shoulder from their last out, and especially 88, some of these guys, you know.
Right.
And some guys who I think are going to come out and really wreak some havoc, Clark.
Exactly.
And I'm excited about it. It's another big matchup, another big offense who can put up some numbers on you, man. It's time for the defense to eat and finish this season on a high note, baby.
Woo. I cannot believe we're about to fly out to L.A. for another national championship game.
That's just where we're at. Elite teams, crazy. Elite teams, baby.
All right, Adam. Georgia versus TCU coming up. I'm going to give you my score prediction. You give me yours. God, we are going to another national championship.
Right.
I can't keep saying it. It's unbelievable.
It is. And we're going to keep repeating it all week. We're going to keep repeating it all. But I think we're just so delirious. We're so wore out.
I know.
What just happened. I mean, we're recording this 24 hours right after what happened at the Peach Bowl, man.
Right.
We're trying to get going again, man.
I
We're
know.
going to reach down deep. We're going to have to drink some fluids this week, Clark. Get plenty of Gatorade,
Yeah.
need a couple bananas, you know, and really get back hydrated and drink some water, you know, and really kind of ramp it up and get our fandom like back in sync and in a focus that it needs to be at. Because I'll be honest with you, Clark, we're digging down deep for this one. We're digging down deep for this, and we got to finish strong. We got to get this week right, that we can be at our best and at our prime when we go to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California.
Oh my goodness!
Monday night, baby, for the big one.
The big one. Adam, you know, last week I said 41-24, something like that. I'm feeling kind of the same thing.
Okay,
but I'm more confident in this score.
Give it to us.
I'm more confident in this. I'm going to say Dogs. Give me the Dogs. I can't pick against the Dogs. 44-27. And Adam, listen to this. We are 100% getting a defensive touchdown this game.
Boom.
Book it.
Love it, baby. Love it. Who's going to scoop and score? Pick six.
I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to the big guys.
Another Ringo pick six.
Oh, gosh.
Another Ringo pick six.
You know what? No. Here's what I'm going to say. Give me a Smile Munden strip sack and then a scoop and score. That's what I'm taking. I'm serious.
Get it ramped up, baby. Get it ramped up. Man, I love it. Clark, this time last year, baby. We were doing this episode and we're like, can we go beat Alabama in a revenge match, Clark? Can we dethrone the king? We're going to burn the boats to Indianapolis. We're going to come back with Bama's boats, man. We're going to kill the king, right?
Right.
That was the narrative. It was all Alabama this, Alabama that. We did it. Georgia did it. Georgia sealed the deal. They got over that hump, got over that drought, man. Got over that 40-plus year drought and winning a national championship. And then you know what? You know what everybody said after that? Oh, well, enjoy the next 40 years until the next one you win in 2061. Hey, it ain't even been a calendar year, Clark. We're doing another episode for another Georgia National Championship, baby. This time, we are the king, and we're going to establish it, man. Plant our flag at the top of the mountain. Not only plant it, Clark, we're going to dig a hole out there, and we're going to put some quickcrete around that thing and cement it to that mountain.
Yes, sir.
Georgia's the king of the mountaintop. Enjoy this, folks, because you're about to see Georgia win 2 national championships in a row, and there is nothing sweeter than when you're looking at college football and your favorite team. To see them be the undisputed, perfect national champions. You know how you topped last year? Did you ever think you would ever see a team top what Georgia did last year?
Nope.
A year later, the pursuit of perfection, Clark. 15-0, baby. Georgia's going to win this football game.
Yes, sir.
45-34. 45-34. 11-point win in Los Angeles, California. Everybody be crying as confetti comes down as Stetson and Kirby hold another national championship trophy, baby. We're going to have to find more wall space to put more memorabilia up in this place, man. What a time to be a dog. I'm about to pass out from yelling, baby. But this time, get your mind right this week. Get your neighbor's mind right. Get your family's mind right. And get focused because it is time for another Georgia Bulldog National Championship. Yes, y'all be safe. Anybody traveling out there, wear your red and black all week. Be loud. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Ooh, 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 ooh.